else. It was non-existent. That was the biggest problem. I've never seen this. I told him that's again. I've never seen a sideline in all the 22, 25 years I've been involved in college football. Deader sidelines in my life. I've never seen anything like that. And we went out and I said, so we're going to teach you how to have enthusiasm and have fun playing football, or we're going to have. If you can't, I've always, one of the biggest questions: how do you motivate the unmotivated? Well, you eliminate them. That's how you motivate the unmotivated. You eliminate them. So to get motivated, to be enthusiastic about the game of football, or find something else to do because you're wasting your time and effort. So what we did on Friday, we went out and we had some very competitive periods, and when one side of the ball did well, they ran on the field and celebrated, and when the other side did well, they ran on the field and celebrated. We did the same thing last night, or 2 days ago, and we scrimmaged for about 15 minutes at the end of practice and made it very competitive, and it did the same thing. So the practices have been very enthusiastic, and the energy was much better. We had more energy on Sunday than we did on Thursday night, which is unbelievable to me, but that's a fact, and that's where it is. And hopefully that'll translate into something Saturday, which was better than last Saturday. But that's all we can do right now is just try to give these guys, hey, go out and have fun playing the game and show them how to have fun. Show them how to be enthusiastic. If you can't be enthusiastic, we'll have to move on. Eliminate guys. Get guys out there with energy. And we got a lot of good young players right now that aren't quite ready to play full speed. They have a lot of energy. And unfortunately for them, they're going to probably have to take the field. And guys we'd like to hold back and redshirt, but I don't know if that's going to be the case. We'll have to find out. We'll see one more Saturday, see what happens here. But we got some guys with some great energy. And one of them's injured right now, Tyler Van Slichtenhorst, so you'll enjoy watching him play. He loves to play football, and it's unfortunate he's not out there right now because he'd inject a lot of energy in his team. But you will see him as soon as he's available. Hopefully it'll be a week or two. That's a really good question. When players get down, coaches get up. That's just what you have to do. You can't browbeat a team, and you call a person a dog long enough, they start believing it, and you can't do that. You just gotta be enthusiastic every day as a coach and get your kids to play hard, and that's all we can do right now at practice field is be enthusiastic and up tempo. And that's what we've been doing. So I don't really know anything else but that, I guess, 'cause I played in it and coached in it for so long. I don't think you can get wrapped up in the environment. I think the movie Hoosiers is one of the best examples of that, when Gene Hackman goes in there and sees a 10-foot rim. And before the game, that's Hinkle Fieldhouse, by the way, in Indianapolis, where Butler's plays. But I think the football field is 53.5 yards wide and 100 yards long. So it's still a football game. There's a lot of people around watching them. You got to focus on having fun playing the game and executing. I think that's what we'll do. I haven't really talked to the team about the environment they'll be in. I'll probably do that today, and probably I will do it after practice. And we'll pump crowd noise into our stadium today and try to make it as loud as we can. Offensively, that's where it affects the game more than anything else. Is the crowd noise and your ability to operate with your cadence and so forth. So that'll be big. We'll pump that into our stadium and help us with that. I guess the only thing you can do is you got to go experience it. One thing, when you play in a big stadium, on a big stage like that, you can feel momentum. And it gets hard for me to describe that, but you can feel the momentum leaving you or your team or your side of the football or gaining your side. You can just feel it. And the crowd kind of lets you know on that. The crowd kind of gets, you can feel them getting restless. You can feel them get quieter when you're playing well. Or you can feel them getting really, really loud and the energy going into them that their team's playing well. So as a football team, you have to grab that. It's like any other game, but you have to grab the momentum back if you don't have it, or really strive hard and play hard to keep it. So I'll bring that up to them and tell them what it's like. But there's some kids that I think here in this program has played in big games before and big venues, so hopefully that won't be as big a factor as people think. Well, I think anybody who plays is in competitive athletics has that outlook when you play in a game where you're obviously considered a major underdog, a Rocky type of thing, so to speak. But I don't know an athlete or a coach that doesn't think that way. But the reality is, it is a football game, and there's things that in order for that to happen, if we have a chance to win the football game, we're going to have to do a lot of things better than we did Thursday night. And that's what the disheartening part about it is, if you watch us play or watch us practice, we practice with pretty good tempo and really good energy, and we didn't play that way on Thursday. And the one thing, there's a word out there that this team has to overcome. Anytime you're in a culture of losing, that's the term adversity. And until you can fight through adversity as an individual player or a team, you're not going to win, because adverse situations come in every game that you play. College football game is very, very long, and for them to overcome adversity, you have to become mentally and physically tough, and that is not done overnight. And when you're trying to change of culture of losing, because you don't want the idea of, oh, here we go again syndrome, and that's what I saw Thursday night. I saw guys who did things that they have not done since the 7 months we've been here, since the time we took the field. Technically, the first thing you see in a player who is having a hard time or struggling mentally is they give up on their technique, and that happened quite a bit in certain parts. Certain guys did things that they reverted back to their old ways, and you could see that. Well, that looked like last year. That looked like last year. That looked like last year, and we haven't seen that as a coaching staff and some of our players. And that's what was taught before, and it's not what we're teaching. So it's just going to take repetition, and time, and yet people have to be patient. It's going to take time to not beat them out of it, but to get them to learn how to play a different way. And that's why we went out, on Friday, and we didn't holler and scream a lot. We did on certain errors, but dumb mistakes, dumb penalties we did, and lack of effort. But we picked it up another notch. Friday was more intense than most days they've ever had probably here. They haven't gone out in pads on day after practice after a game. We do here. We'll go out in pads, and that's what we'll do from now on until I leave. That's what we do. We go out in shoulder pads and helmets after games. So until that becomes a habit, it won't change. So it has to change, and we won't accept anything less than that. So if guys aren't performing, there are going to be changes. And that's just the way it is. That's part of competitive athletics. So. I think there's a gap between us and Eastern Illinois right now, and that bothers me. I'll tell you that. You start with that first. You want to be a playoff caliber team, and I don't. There's a gap between our two football teams right now. So, the gap between the Missouri Valley. I haven't seen all the Missouri Valley teams yet. I've seen them on tape. As I mentioned when I first got this job, when I was at Purdue, I watched Southern Illinois beat Indiana. I watched North Dakota State beat Minnesota, and I watched North Dakota State beat Central Michigan, who was a very good football team. So I don't think the gap is that big. We saw that Northern Iowa could have won the game against Iowa, a team that's a very good football team in that league. So I don't think there's much of a gap. Obviously, numbers of players, depth is an issue. But obviously, from a talent standpoint, a coaching standpoint, there's no gap. I don't think. Northern Iowa is as good a football team as you'll play around anywhere. So now, is there a gap between us and Illinois? Probably. From a talent standpoint, maybe. It's going to be. I don't think any person in here would say, yeah, there's a talent differential between us and Illinois. You just look at the guys they've recruited, and the guys we watched play on Thursday night. So there's we got to keep pressing ahead and keep moving forward. And I told them in the locker room, we're staying the course. We're just gonna keep staying the course. And we as a coaching staff got to continue to recruit and upgrade the talent pool. That's just what you have to do. The issues you get in here are you don't have 85 scholarships, you only have 63. So you have to be pretty smart on who you're going on. So to upgrade that talent pool. All right, thanks for having us. Thanks for coming.